Personally, I find that people often seem to overcomplicate bait rigging. They want to wind the hook through their bait 20 times. What that does is it makes your bait all bent and twisted, but it just doesn't sort of work as well because it can affect how that bait looks in the water, and that's why the fish potentially don't eat it. The other thing we're always trying to do is get great hook exposure, so when the fish eats it, he gets hooked. If I bury that hook in a hard bait, it will potentially miss hooking a fish when he eats it. One of my favorite baits of all is a squid. This is just a little Californian squid, and they're great bait because they're just a snack size little morsel for a whole lot of species. What I'm going to do here is use a 2-hook rig for this bait. And as you can see, the hooks are a decent way apart, and this is all going to make sense why. Okay, so what I want to do is measure this up just like this. I want that top hook to be just in the very top of the hood like that. A really simple way to do this, get that squid head, push that up in there. We've still got a few tentacles hanging out, right? And then we're going to come back here, stick that hook in like that, and then pop it out there. Okay, and then I'll get this hook, and you can put it in that side or that side, whatever suits. But in this case, I'm going to stick it straight through there. And what you've got is a squid bait, still a few little tentacles hanging out there. But what you have that's most important is a straight bait. This is great in current. It's great if you want to cast it out and just let it float down. It looks very, very natural. And the trick to a straight bait with a 2-hook rig is to make sure you've got that tiny little bit of slack between the 2 hooks there. When any fish grabs this, he's going to get hooked because you've got such good hook exposure right there. The other thing you will notice is they're decent sized hooks. And people say, what size hook should I use for a snapper or a brim or whatever? The best tip I can give you is to match your hook to the bait. No point putting a little 4-0 hook into a big squid head. Same thing, no point putting an 8-0 suicide or something into a tiny little piece of pilchard. Match your hook to your bait and also have an idea of the fish that you're fishing for. If you do that, you'll match the right hook to the bait, to the fish you're catching, and you'll catch plenty more fish.